I'm Walt Landy. I'm the owner of High Country Builders, and we are at the Great Northern Lodge in Whitefish, Montana. Last year, as you know, you came up and we did a tour of this house. People loved it, and we were very excited to show it off. We really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. We didn't no idea that this thing was going to have well over 1 million views and people asking for more. So now we're back. Hopefully we'll give a more thorough view of the house and tour of the house, and I think you're going to be very excited by what you see here. You don't get clients walking through the door every day that want a generational heirloom quality home. They're once in a lifetime. And when you get the opportunity like this, you don't want to squander it, right? So when you get a client like that has the vision, that has the finances, that has the intelligence to look past the present and look way into the future, it inspires everybody to where you're like, okay, we're part of something special here. We really want to bring this client's vision to fruition. And I wish I could have a client like that every year, but they're very, very few and very far between. But when you do get a client like that, is it something special. There's 80 acres here, and it was very important for the owner to have as little impact on the property as possible. Everything's designed into the natural topography. This property is still a wildlife haven. This 80 acres could have been, 2,000 homes with tremendous impact on the ecosystem and the town and everything else. And instead, we've got this beautiful, beautiful legacy home. This house was not built by some faceless corporation, but a small town, family-owned company. Over 100 people were kept busy for over a decade now on this project, and all that money stayed in the local economy. Everybody is very appreciative of what he's done and what we've built here.
My name is Bob Graham. I have been in the Valley for 35 years, and we started Old Goat's Decorative Hardware. My wife ran the business, and I was her partner in it. And I've known Walt for 30 of those 35 years, and he's been just a great friend and a great builder. Walt has set himself apart from all the other builders. It was different walking in any home that Walt built. Everything that Walt did enhanced the home with the homeowner in mind. I've been traveling all over the world. I've been to England and France and the Riviera and Italy and Prague and Switzerland. And I've been in this house, and this is the most fantastic house that I've been in all around the world.
The whole theme of this house is based on the Sperry Chalet in Glacier National Park. And I don't know if you've ever been up there, but it's this beautiful old rock-quarried stone building that was built, decades ago. I don't even remember when it was first built, but you can only get there on foot or horseback. And that was the inspiration for this house. And the Great Northern Lodge, which is what we're called this, is modeled off the Sperry Chalet, which was actually built by the Great Northern Railway. They built all the lodges in Glacier National Park. And that was the theme for this particular house. And you'll see it throughout. You'll see Rocky, the mascot for the Great Northern Railway. He's part of this home. And so the vision was to try to recreate the old national park look in, of course, a much larger, grander scale. But that was the original vision. And when you come up to the house, you immediately see all the great big, huge, what we call Sperry stone, because it's a particular color with more reds and purples and pinks. And that was the driving theme behind the house. And one of the biggest challenges we had from the very start was, where do we find this Sperry stone? We can't go into the park and quarry it, obviously. So we hired a geologist, and we found two veins fairly local, one up by Eureka and one over by Libby, which was about 60 miles away or so. We had everything custom quarried just for this job, and Kevin took hold of that project for us and put all the people in place to where we could go in and build the roads and get all this stone quarried, and then reclaim the property and everything on the way out. So every stone in here was quarried just for this house. Again, Quarry Works did a phenomenal job. They could get you what they have, and they can get you what they don't have. So when we started this project, we actually started with the driveway back in 2011. And it was a very, very challenging driveway. It was about a 15 to 16% slope, which is, for winter conditions was unacceptable. So I hired an old boy named Denny Foster, who had been building roads in this area for decades. I twisted his arm and got him involved in this project. And we started laying out the road, and Denny got excited when he realized what we were doing and took the grade down from, where it was 15, 16% to under 10%, which was acceptable. We had to cut through a couple different rock outcroppings where we ended up more of a railroad tunnel type scenario, which was perfect for this particular project. When you pull up to the house, the first thing you come to is there's a barrel entry with a beautiful bronze gate, and we've got natural gas torches in there and along parts of the house. The reason for that is that's what they used back in the day, as far as, they would have torches going instead of lights when they didn't have electricity and stuff. It's just kind of a throwback to older days, simpler days. So it's just a really unique and cool look when you come in at night and you see all these big flames dancing across the rocks and stuff like that. It's setting the tone for what's to come. And now you're into the courtyard, and you're looking around and you start realizing, wow, this is something really special here. We've got cobblestone courtyard, we've got natural gas torches, we've got a vegetated roof. We've got all this beautiful stonework and white oak hand-hewn timbers, and it's just really amazing on how this house unfolds as you come up to it. And then you come through the front door, and now you're seeing all this white oak timber and this massive great room and this amazing dining area and kitchen, all kind of combining one open space. And it really takes your breath away. The owner, it was really important for him to keep this as authentic as possible. And if that's the case, you of course use much larger rock at your base, and then as you go higher and get taller and it's harder to stack, you go with smaller and smaller rock. And The challenge was to have all this stone and keep the house looking and feeling cozy. And even though we have thousands of tons of stone in this house, it's still extremely cozy. And a lot of people think, well, you've got too much stone and too many heavy timbers, and this house is going to feel cold, and it's just the opposite. The house was designed to be comfortable with all these elements. The rocks themselves, they're natural earth tones. They help give you that natural feeling of warmth and coziness. Same thing with the timbers. You look at these timbers and they're a natural color, and they're not anything artificial, and it all blends together to give you that really warm, cozy feeling year-round. Our timbers and all of our barnwood for this house was supplied by MRL, Montana Reclaimed Lumber, down in Bozeman. Charlie and Mike, they're phenomenal guys to work for. I can't recommend them enough. MRL is one of these companies that if you need something that nobody else can supply, as far as a big heavy timber or type of flooring that's unique, these are the guys that are going to find it for you every time. You'll notice in the great room that there's no visible TV anywhere. We've got that extended stone in front of the great room window, and if you look closely, you can see that it's notched out, and there's actually a lift under there for the TV. And when you're wanting to watch TV, you just raise it on up, and when you're not, you got this great, incredible view, and you've got a nice open great room now. You'll notice that we've got a beautiful white mountain goat in the great room, and that's actually a replica of Rocky, who was the mascot for the Great Northern Railway, who I told you built the original Sperry Chalet and all the other lodges in the park. Big hearth that you see on this fireplace, that was cut out of one solid piece of stone by Matt Riley, who is the mason on this project. Riley Masonry, phenomenal mason, one of a kind. And he can do anything with rocks. And he had cut this giant rock in half for us, and this before the front door and everything got in. We brought it in where the entrance is, and we had a bunch of steel rollers that we used to roll it in along the great room and into place where this fireplace was going. And we were just almost, we had maybe 2 feet to go, and that roller went over a piece of gravel and dropped maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, which was just enough to crack that hearthstone. And this thing probably weighs 10, 12,000 pounds. And of course the mason's standing there looking at me like, you gotta be kidding me. And he said, well, I guess I better go get the other half and bring it in here. And it took him a couple days to get it up here. And anyway, we redid that, this time with no incidences, and got the hearthstone set. Montana Sash and Door supplied all our windows. Now these windows are solid bronze windows, and they're made in Italy. They're a company called Aztec. And Montana Sash and Door is the distributor for those guys here in Montana. And JR, he's phenomenal. It doesn't matter whether you're building the most expensive house in the world or you're building a starter house. He's going to have the window line that you're looking for, and he's going to steer you in the right direction. The guy is really incredible as far as whenever you're dealing with windows and rough openings, it's so easy to make mistakes, and he checks and double checks and triple checks, and he's one of these guys that are a real asset to a builder and to a homeowner. The kitchen is pretty spectacular. Look at the size of this island. It's really turned into quite the centerpiece here. One of the design elements of the kitchen was to make sure that there was a large enough space for people to gather. So that's one reason for that great big island and the bar that you see in front of it. And then we integrated the breakfast nook right off of the kitchen also. If there's people sitting over there and people sitting up at the bar on the island, they could still, talk and communicate. And if there's somebody cooking or whatever, it's open to have a great conversation, and it makes a really beautiful gathering place. An incredible view off the breakfast nook. We had Mountain High Woodwork. They're located down in Bozeman. They did all the cabinetry for this project, both phase 1 and phase 2. And working with those guys has been a real blessing. It's up to us to find the best people that we can and bring out the best in them. And these guys were just naturals. They wanted to do the best, they strived to do the best, and they really gave us an amazing product. These doors that are in this house are a one-of-a-kind design and build. Those are our go-to guys whenever we have a really unique custom door that we need built. I'll call Sean down there, and he usually laughs and says, "Yeah, you want the impossible again, huh?" And yeah, well, you're the guy that can do it, and he does. And it's a good relationship, and we like working with him. The master we actually have elevated from the main floor because the natural topography outside is doing the same thing. So we come up, I think it's 4 or 5 steps into the master. One of the biggest features of the master bath is this huge stone hand-carved tub that we have in there. You'll notice there's no fixtures in this tub. We've got everything hidden where the water's coming out from a slot that we put in there, a little waterfall down into the tub. It's just a very unique setting with all these heavy hand-hewn timbers surrounding it also. Rocky Mountain Tile and Stone was our supplier for our tile. Josh is a phenomenal installer down there. He did a great job. They are really good to work with. You go in there with some ideas, and they've got a great showroom. They've got very talented people, and whether you're building a $1 million home or a starter home, they've got something for everybody down there. But when it really comes time to shine and make sure that everything is thought through on these tile installations, they're the ones to choose. Everything comes off seamlessly, and it's really amazing. We have this beautiful compass rose made out of basically jewelry grade turquoise that Gallup and Eureka made for this project. Very unique. It's actually showing true north instead of magnetic north, because that way it's accurate forever, whereas the magnetic north changes once in a while. And so that's just a small detail that we wanted to make sure got in there. The staircase going up to the study is one of those areas where the owner has given me a directive to where if you see anything in this house that isn't wowing you, please let me know and give me an idea on how we can improve on that. And that staircase was a perfect example. It was nice, but it wasn't over the top. And we had this giant rock that was in place that we either had to move or we had to incorporate into the house. And we made the decision to drill through that rock. It was about 30 feet. And we used giant turnbuckles to hold this thing together and kept it in place. And then we added more rocks and carved concrete for the staircase and turned that whole staircase into a mine shaft looking exit up to the study. And at the same time, I had found a narrow gauge railroad track over in Oregon. And the owner is such a railroad buff that it was only natural to take that and incorporate it as the handrail in that staircase. This granite staircase leads us down to the lower level. We've got a really nice wine room that I think you'll enjoy. We've got a custom door on there with this unique hand-forged hardware. And inside we've got arches forming a barrel ceiling up there that is actually self-supporting and holding up the roof. There's a keystone in there that's holding everything together. We had interior designer Deborah Shull, Haven Interiors down in Bozeman. She was our interior designer on this house. And this ceiling that we have in the sitting room downstairs is all hand-stitched buffalo hide. And Deborah was instrumental, and she just did a phenomenal job with that. And it's really a beautiful touch.
My name is Luke Landy. I'm the second generation owner of High Country Builders. I've been working with my dad for basically my entire life now. I grew up basically scooting and crawling across subfloors while my dad built walls around me. He taught me pretty much everything I know about the industry, and I've been able to build on that foundation of knowledge. When it comes to a timeless design, it's only good if it will stand the test of time. And part of the owner's philosophy, not with just design, but with construction, is creating a house that will be a legacy, not for him, not for his children, but for all the generations. With the structure of this house, all the elements are not only aesthetic, but they have to function for the structure of the design as well. So when it comes to the timbers, there's a blend between using antique timbers and standing dead oak. There's a finite amount of antique hand-hewn timbers that we were able to get a hold of. So by hand-hewing the standing dead, we were able to seamlessly integrate them into the rest of the project. We have to hit them with axes, hatchets, we have to draw the edges with knives, and we have to do a 5 or 6 part stain process that ends with a fine detail painter's brush. In the end, the timbers that we were able to hand hew in-house are so seamlessly blended into the antique timbers, we often have to point them out to people and show them which ones were standing dead and which ones are actually antique and 100 years old.
Here we are on phase 2 of the Great Northern Lodge, and we actually call this the Great Northern Chalet. It's more of an entertainment guest house feel than the main lodge. One of the first things you notice when you come into through the door is this elevator shaft. It's actually 4 stories of stacked hand-hewn timbers. It's quite the logistic nightmare to pull off, but we got it. It's working beautifully, and it's a very big showcase for the house. As we continue into the house, you can see this amazing great room with these big, massive timbers. And we've got this beautiful kitchen off to the right with a stone vaulted ceiling. And on the other side, we actually have the bar. Most of the time, the designers will want to select the granite and marble, which they do, but they're really reliant on the granite and marble setter to give them the takeoff and the quantities that they need for each area in each room. We've been using Glacier marble, and Tomas is a master at this. He's one of those guys to where I don't have to wake up at night wondering if things are going right or if things are going wrong, because I know Tomas is on it. He will not only make sure that when he takes delivery of these granite slabs, that they're the quality that they need to be. If there's any issues with them whatsoever, he notifies us immediately. If we need to go get a slab out of the same batch right away, we can still do that and not wait a year when it's totally impossible. There's few subs out there that are bulletproof, and Tomas is one of those guys. The patio is a work of art. We've got these great big giant rock outcroppings on each side of the patio. And if you look closely, you'll see that there's actually trees and shrubs and bushes growing out of the solid rock. And the overall feel and experience you have out here is one with nature. I feel truly grateful and truly blessed to have been involved in a project like this. It was an amazing team, amazing group of talented craftsmen. We had an owner that couldn't have been any better. And I just feel like we all came through for him and did the best job that we possibly could.
My goals for the future of the company are building off the foundation that my dad has laid down, integrating these new technologies like building information modeling, using artificial intelligence to rapidly iterate design ideas and work with clients and push these designs out that are original, that are coming out fast and look amazing.
I'm really thankful to Build Magazine for the opportunity to allow us to showcase this project to the world. They've been a great asset for us, easy to work with. Get in business with these guys and partner up with them because it's going to be in your best interest.